Let me introduce you to your new defense against the dark arts teacher. Me. Gilderoy Lockhart, Order of Merlin, 3rd class, honorary member of the Dark Force Defense League, and 5 times winner of Witch Weekly's Most Charming Smile Award. But I don't talk about that. I didn't get rid of the band and banshee by smiling at them. I must ask you not to scream. It might provoke them!
Cornish pixies?
Freshly caught Cornish pixies. Laugh if you will, Mr. Finnegan, but pixies can be devilishly tricky little blighters. Let's see what you make of them. No! Come on now, round them up, there any pixies?
Please, get me down!
Pesky pixie pestanobi! I'll ask you 3 to just nip the rest of them back into their cage.
What do we do now? Immobilized!
Why is it always me?
Harry. Can you possibly imagine a better way to serve detention than by helping me to answer my fan mail?
Not really.
Fame is a fickle friend, Harry. Celebrity is as celebrity does. Remember that. One's at the ready.
Scared Potter.
You wish.
On the count of 3, cast your charms to disarm your opponent. Only to disarm. We don't want any accidents here. 1, 2.
Inverte status! Rictus Sempra!
I said disarm only!
Serpent Sortier!
Vipera Ivanaska.
What are you playing at?
Hey there, LEGO fans and Potterheads. I'm the lawyer in the LEGO Shed, and this is the 26th in a series of videos I'll be making as I build my way through the magical world of LEGO Harry Potter. I've been collecting Harry Potter LEGO since the line started back in 2001 with the release of the very first movie, and for this video series, I will be building sets that have been part of the more recent waves of Harry Potter LEGO, beginning with 2018 and stopping with the 2023 releases. My plan is to go in movie order, and so without further ado, let's get started. Today we're covering the largest of the 2021 to 2023 Hogwarts sets, set number 76389, Hogwarts Chamber of Secrets. This set was the hero set of this particular wave, and while making some familiar ground, or walking some familiar ground, it also had some new and exciting areas as well. So just for some quick historical context, this set was released in 2021. It has 1,176 pieces and a total of 11 minifigures, 11 of which are unique to this set. The set itself follows the same modular approach that's been used throughout the 2021 to 2023 wave for the Hogwarts castle, and because it has several component parts that span the entire movie, I decided to go ahead and split this review into two parts. So for part one, we're going to cover the Great Hall, the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, and Professor Lockhart's office, as well as the Astronomy Tower. So we'll start first with a quick exterior view. We can actually start with the Great Hall here. And you can see it's hitting all the main beats that we would expect from the Great Hall. It's got these arched windows, it's got the two smaller towers, and then a tall central tower with a little window. Definitely kind of what we would expect out of any depiction of the Great Hall at this point. Then we have the portion that makes up the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, Professor Lockhart's office, and the Astronomy Tower. I actually think that this exterior is kind of engaging. It's one of my favorites. I'll talk more about that in a bit, but you know, we've got these nice curved window pieces. I don't know if you can tell really with the camera, but nice curved window pieces that are involved here, which are kind of newer at this point in the Lego lineup. And just an engaging decision here with the archways. So definitely very fun. Now let's do a quick interior one, and we'll start with the Great Hall. I'll move it a little closer here. So, as you can see, we've got a nice Hogwarts banner here. We've got even a little wizard's chessboard up here, some other little things hiding in the rafters. Definitely a fun decision. Then we've got our standard beats that we would expect. We have tables in the Great Hall. We have Dumbledore's golden owl podium that he stands at. We even have some fun inclusions here of treats that are available and breakfast things that are available on the tables. We even had a functional element here. If you can kind of see in there, this table goes up, seemingly to kind of allow you to recreate the moment in the dueling club scene from this movie, from Chamber of Secrets. You might have noticed already that there's kind of an oddity here, that certain parts of the Great Hall do not connect with the main modular piece. We'll talk about that more in a little bit as well. But there's a quick overview of the interior. Then we've got this other piece that has the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, as well as the Astronomy Tower and Professor Lockhart's office. So let's start with the classroom itself. Looks great with those nice bright windows, and then of course this nice picture of Professor Lockhart that is prominent. Got a bunch of desks in there and everything, and then this is also where we would feature a lot of Cornish pixies, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. So a little plain in some respects, but a nice, very compelling series of stickers that let us really know where we are, which is fun. Then we've got Professor Lockhart's office itself, which has even more things depicting Professor Lockhart. These are all direct references, by the way, to the movie, which I found really fun. These photographs are all ones that are featured, which was great. We've even got his little wig here that we see, and then you can see here he's even signing some autographs like he does in the scene where Harry's doing detention. So, you know, super fun to kind of see his office built out in this way. Then we've got the Astronomy Tower itself, which I think I'm just deciding is their effort for this particular wave, because we have this gorgeous star chart piece, which is a sticker, but still looks really great. We've got a telescope here with some crystal lenses, which is real fun. And then obviously we get Professor Sinistra, the astronomy professor. So it definitely feels like that's where we're going with this. But in any event, as you can see, I've just dismantled the whole thing, and now we can put it all back together in the spirit of that modular approach, which is, you know, definitely fun, but has its limitations, which we'll talk about in just a bit. Let's talk about that Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, this one right down here. This is actually something that we've only previously seen in set number 4752. But this one is one that belongs to Professor Lockhart. That Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom that I mentioned, 4752, is when Professor Lupin is teaching the Bogart lesson, which is definitely super fun and a fun little, older set. But it's nice to get a reference where Professor Lockhart is our acting professor. Similarly, the Great Hall, like we talked about the reference to the Dueling Club, that actually used to be a previous set altogether. It was set number 4733, and it's definitely a fascinating little choice to include that reference and nod, but would have been nice to get more, that they had done, like in 4733. One other thing, too, that I'll note about the Great Hall is, the Great Hall has been depicted several times, and for a full breakdown of kind of the comparison of those older sets, check out episode 11 in my lineup. I kind of go into that for the first Great Hall out of the 2018 wave. Let's talk, too, about Professor Professor Gilderoy Lockhart's office. The professor for the dark arts, that office is actually been depicted one other time. It's been previously shown in set number 5378, and at that point in time, it actually belongs to Professor Umbridge. But both the dark arts classroom and the dark arts professor's office actually pop up in set number 71043 as well. This is the microscale Hogwarts, which is real fun. In that version, you have Professor Umbridge's office, with that iconic pink that she's doing there. And then we also have the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom itself that has references to every professor that had been occupying it, at least while Harry was attending school. So the astronomy tower, I'll say, is probably a lot harder to pin down, as we've seen towers with telescopes in the past. But prior to the 2018 wave, none of them look like the one that's actually depicted in the movies. So it's a little tougher to say whether or not the astronomy tower has been depicted before. But we know that the Great Hall has, we know that the Dark Arts professor's office has, and we know that the classroom has, just not with Professor Lockhart, which is real fun. Okay, let's talk about what I loved. One of my favorite exteriors of this wave is this set. I think that it does a really good job of, just kind of having something visually interesting going on, especially in a wave that had a lot of kind of visually disinteresting sets from the exteriors. So it's nice that they took the time to really kind of make this feel engaging and appealing. These little recess windows, like I mentioned, I think are one of the pieces that really stand out for me in doing that. In fact, this actually reminded me a lot of set number 4842, as far as giving me, kind of those impressions and thinking back on older sets that I had set up when I was younger. The sticker work in the set is really great. I obviously mentioned already the wizard-themed cereal, which I'll just, pull these guys up a little bit closer so you can see. Such a great thing. All the little references in Professor Lockhart's office, all excellent choices. And then I am a big sucker for a completely custom piece that has been made for something. And these little Cornish pixies, I just think they're delightful. Such a fun decision, and it doesn't seem like they're going to get a whole lot of play in other spaces, but yeah, this was a really fun inclusion, I thought, especially for how iconic that scene is to the movie. Things that I didn't love, the Great Hall is obviously a massive downgrade here. We only have references to the floating candles. We only have, one really engaging table. It's significantly smaller. It just doesn't feel nearly as grand or as great as the Great Hall should be. It's also not super usable because of how small it is. Similarly, the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom itself is a little lacking. One of the most iconic things in that classroom is the dragon skeleton, which you can see in the stickers that I showed from the microscale Hogwarts. But here we just have really the Lockhart painting that really lets us know where we are. Other than that, this could be just about any other classroom. So kind of a sad choice there to not include something so iconic and kind of doable. They have that skeleton horse that they could have done, thrown some wings on like they did with the Thestrals way back when. That at least would have been serviceable for giving us that vibe, or even doing a brick built would have been fine here too, especially where it's something that's so iconic for that room and that we see across multiple movies too. Next up, I would say, is that the astronomy tower just not being accurate to the movie at all. Obviously, in our 2018 wave, we get a wonderfully accurate astronomy tower, which we'll cover a lot later. But this one, I think, is pretty disappointing. And then, of course, one that I've brought up before, but it's the lack of consistency in the modular approach. So, as you can see, this follows the modular approach. It's got the right, amount of studs across, right? The 8x8 on one side or 16x8 so that it can function that way. The Great Hall completely defies that and doesn't follow any of the kind of standard approaches in that way, and is 3 across, or 3/8 across. Then we have the problem of this whole front section is actually entirely dependent on being on top of the Chamber of Secrets portion that we'll cover on our next part. So I actually had to rip these off. They don't have anything that lets you just let them rest there. You literally have to have them forcibly attached. And so if you lift the Great Hall off, just like this, there's just this freestanding table with the croissant, chocolate frog, and cereal all just sitting there. So I think for me, it's disappointing when you see them really trying to commit to something, but then they don't fully commit to it, I guess. I think that's something that I found challenging on this one and hard to overlook. All right, let's get into the minifigs quickly. I'll just move these guys over here. And we have really an exciting array of minifigs this time around. First off, we have Professor Sinistra. She looks fantastic. She's got some great printing on her, great little hat element. It's also really nice to see a non-white minifigure included in a Harry Potter set. So it's great to have her here. First appearance for her in any of the Harry Potter Lego sets. So nice to have her appear. Then we've got Colin Creevey, first appearance for him as well. He's here with his iconic camera and his kind of amazing hair that flops to the sides. He's wearing his Gryffindor robe. Other than that, with his over-enthusiastic grin, he's pretty standard, but great to have his kind of over-the-top camera that he uses in that overzealous smile. Next up is Justin Finch Fletchley. He is a Hufflepuff. And the real benefit of having him is not necessarily that it's Justin, but it's that he is he's wearing a Hufflepuff uniform, which is great to get more Hufflepuff uniforms incorporated. And we can tell that it's him specifically because it actually comes with the snake component, this set, which was definitely an important element of the moment in the dueling club scene where Malfoy conjures the snake and then Harry talks to it. So those 3 characters, I think, definitely wonderful inclusions and a lot of fun. Next up, we have probably one of my favorite odd inclusions, I guess. We have a glow-in-the-dark, nearly headless Nick. He is great with a lot of wonderful printing, and every element of him glows in the dark, which is super fun. Definitely an upgrade from the last one that we had, but they don't stick with the glow-in-the-dark theme with these future ones. So if you got the 2018 Great Hall that had a nearly headless Nick, then it'll match all of your other ones that they've been doing recently. But definitely fun to have gotten a nice full glow-in-the-dark minifigure. Next up, we've got Professor Lockhart. He has appeared twice in the old waves in 2002, actually, and appeared once in the prior, or in this more recent waves, but it was in the 2018 to 2020 waves. And each time he's appeared, he's actually wearing a differently colored, brightly, bold outfit. And I love that they've really stuck with that here. My only complaint about him is it would have been great to have a little cape for him, since he is very that kind of person. So I think it would have been nice to have him have a cape, but the coloring here is real great for him and is in keeping with the style that they've established for him as a minifigure. Okay, next up we have Dumbledore. And this is a great version of him in the sense that we're getting him this nice magenta. This is actually the first time that we've seen him in this full outfit. He was actually wearing something very similar, or a minifigure that was referencing this same outfit in the Build Your Own Hogwarts polybag. So you can see the detailing on his torso is the same. But it's nice to get him in this full dress piece, because then you can kind of see the full effect of the outfit, which is a lot of fun. So we'll just cover those 6 for this time around. We'll leave 5 for the next batch, since they're more relevant to the other portions of the set. So my overall impression, I'm going to save until we get to part 2. Some of those things, though, I'm sure you've already gotten the vibe about elements that were disappointing, but there are definitely some components that come up later that I think will influence the overall impression for sure. So that is it for part 1 of 76389. If you are interested in following along with me on this journey, please feel free to go ahead and follow my Instagram account, or follow the subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if there's anything else that you think that I should be covering in these reviews, go ahead and drop a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and have an awesome day.